Sprouts, it's story time again. The Little Boy and the Big Fish by Max Velthuijs. Once upon a time there was a boy who lived in the country with his mother, a cat, some chickens and a rooster. He loved to go fishing. Sometimes he caught 1 or 2 fish, but most of the time he dreamed about catching a great big fish. Early one morning he took his fishing rod and went down to the lake to try his luck. It was a fine day, and when he reached the water's edge he found a comfortable place, baited his hook and began to fish. He waited and he waited. Will the big fish come? The water was still and the weather was just right for fishing. The sound of the humming bees filled the air. Butterflies darted about overhead and the birds sang. A little beetle called toward the boy, but no fish came. Perhaps the fish were not hungry, but the boy was. He fixed his fishing rod to the ground and began to eat, never taking his eyes off the float on the water. He ate bread and butter and an apple and had a big drink of milk. Then he felt sleepy, so he lay down on the grass, closed his eyes and dreamed about a great big fish. Suddenly a noise woke him. He looked for the float on the water. It had disappeared. He seized his rod and pulled and pulled. After a long struggle he landed a large and beautiful fish. He could not believe his eyes. He put the fish under his arm and hurried off home. On the way he met a farmer who said, "I'll buy that fish from you. It'll be just right for dinner." But the boy did not want to sell. "Nobody will eat my fish," he replied. "I want him to live and be happy." His mother was amazed when she saw how big the fish was. "He's beautiful, but he will soon die out of water," she said. "Perhaps he could live in the bathtub," said the boy. Quickly his mother filled the tub with water. The boy put the fish in, but he was so large he could not move. He lay there quite still. He looked sad, and this made the boy sad too. He said to the fish, "I will go and fetch some flowers to put beside the tub so that you will feel more at home." When he had done that, he read to the fish. He chose nice stories about animals. The fish seemed to listen, but still, he was unhappy. The next morning, the fish was pale and did not want to eat. The boy, who now loved him dearly, took him to the doctor. The doctor put him on the table and gently opened his mouth. "He has caught a cold," he said, and tied a bandage around his throat. The doctor gave the boy a bottle of medicine. 1 spoonful, 3 times a day was written on the label. Then the boy hurried home through the town with the fish under his arm. The fish had never seen a town before. The traffic and the crowds of people frightened him, but he trusted the boy. As soon as they reached home, the boy put the fish back in the bathtub and immediately gave him a dose of the medicine. The fish was glad to be back in the water. "Tomorrow I'll be quite well again," he thought, and with hope in his heart he fell asleep. And as he slept, he dreamed that his fins became wings. He flew out of the window. He saw the little house and the trees below. Above him, the moon was shining. Then he saw the lake, his old home. Joyfully he flew down toward it. He felt cool water lapping around him and he awoke, only to find that he was in the bathtub. The beautiful dream was over. Early the next morning, the boy came with the bottle of medicine. He asked the fish how he felt. The fish looked at the boy longingly, and the expression in his eyes said, "I do not think there is anything wrong with me, but I am homesick for my lake. Please, please take me back there, for I shall never be happy in a bathtub." The boy understood, and because he loved the fish so much, he decided to give him back his freedom. Very early the next morning, he took the fish under his arm and made his way across the field to the lake. At the water's edge, the boy said goodbye to his friend and put him gently into the water. And when he saw how happy the fish was as he swam away, flipping his fins, he was happy too.